We're so excited. We had a feeling. We were so excited.
This is amazing.
She was setting me up. My computer went MIA. I could not find it anywhere, so I'm on Leah's computer.
Love
All right.
You look amazing.
Wanted a 2-for-1 here.
Great.
Love it.
Thank you so much again. We're so excited to talk to you.
Oh, thank you. Excited to talk to you too.
Well, hi, Elyse. Welcome to the Gay and the Girl podcast. We're so excited that you're here.
I'm Kirby.
And I'm Matt.
Very excited to be here.
Yay.
Well, we're such fans of yours, and we think you're such a terrific addition to the cast this year. So we're so enjoying watching you on the show this year.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I love podcasts because I get to talk.
Yes.
Whereas on the show, they're always like...
Yes.
But that's what makes you like such a breath of fresh air. Like we love to have this kind of energy on the show this season. It's been awesome. But how have you been doing in the quarantine? What have you been up to?
You know, I'm in Southampton and I'm still trading my cryptocurrency. So life hasn't changed too much for me in that aspect. And my daughter and my husband are here, and Leah's with me this weekend or this week into the weekend. So
that's so
amazing.
Fun. We love that Leah's there too. So your friendship has really bloomed from the show.
Oh yeah. She and I are very close.
That's awesome. Yeah, she leaves some really good Instagram comments on your page, so we love to see that.
Oh, thank you.
So we're so obsessed with you for so many reasons. You give us such gems on TV, but also on your Instagram. So I have to say, I love that you posted your husband's hot mirrors pic. And also that Snow White photo, I think, is like the most iconic thing ever.
Thank you. You know, sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words, right?
Yes.
And that was behind the Snow White photo.
Did you come up with it, or did someone send that to you? That was the best thing ever.
No, someone sent me the Snow White photo, and I just said, oh my God, like this can't be any more perfect. So,
yeah, it really was the most perfect thing with the apple and everything.
Yeah.
Does your hubby mind his shirtless selfies hitting the gram, or is he into it?
You know, it's funny. My husband is a real introvert. I mean, he's like literally, I always call him my hot nerd. So he's very shy. And I had made him take that picture when he had finished a CrossFit competition.
Cool.
So it was him and a bunch of like 20 and 30 something year olds. And he placed the competition. So I said, send me a selfie from the locker room, you know, keep it, you know, PG rated. So he sent me that. And I thought it would be pretty funny to share after the last episode when I was telling Sonia how Ramona was massaging him. And I said, let me give people a view, you know, a visual as
and
to.
We all enjoyed that. We enjoyed the view. So thank you. That was a gift to us.
You're very welcome.
So if you don't mind, we'd like to start at the start of the season, just kind of take your take on some of the highlights of the season. So you came on as a friend of Ramona's, correct?
Yes.
And had you watched the show beforehand?
I actually did not watch the show since season 1 because the fighting always stressed me out.
Yeah.
And so after the first season, and I knew all the girls, I have history, unlike Ramona saying, you know, enjoy my friends kind of a thing. And I'm like, bitch, I've known Dorinda like as long as I've known you, and I've known Sonia. So, and I, you know, now I introduced Jill and Bethany. So because I knew the girls so well, when I would watch them fight, it really put knots in my stomach and I stopped watching.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So no, it was all brand new to me.
So that's interesting. So you really had no context coming into any of the past seasons of what was going on in the relationships. So it was kind of just fresh for you, correct?
Well, I mean, whatever Ramona told me.
Yeah, okay.
You know, that was really the extent of what I knew. And I've popped on in a few seasons, you know, background and parties and stuff like that. So I was there when Tinsley and Sonia were fighting over the check for, you know, at Ramona's house for dinner, the supposed party for Carol to celebrate her marathon. So I remember thinking, oh yeah, I forgot. This is what they do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what was your relationship with Ramona before you came on? Like, how good were you guys? Like lunch friends, text friends? Like, what was it? If you could give us.
No, we were very good friends, or so I thought. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, how could we really have been that close for us to have have a falling out like we did over nothing really? But no, she helped me shop for my wedding dress. We talked 3 times a day. She would walk into my house or my apartment without knocking. I mean, it was just like, oh, Ramona, let's set another place setting for her. So
Yeah.
I thought we were pretty close. Apparently I thought wrong.
Yeah, and we'll get to that a little bit later in the podcast. But so we wanted to ask a couple other questions.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first impression of the other ladies that you didn't know, like Leah?
So I actually got to know Leah better than some of the other girls did in the beginning, because Leah and I really enjoy talking about politics and just sort of, what was happening in society and talking about the economy. So she and I connected on a whole different level outside of the rest of the group. In Newport, we had a little bit of a falling out because I was a little hard on her.
I remember. In your double denim ensemble. I love a double denim ensemble.
You were slaying.
Yeah.
Thank you. But then we, the very next day I realized I was hard on her, and I'll own it if I do something wrong.
Yeah.
So I apologized to her. I said, you know what you really needed was a hug, not me, saying, how are you this morning, right? That was like a bullshit move by me, and I owned it. And we've been fabulous ever since.
That's great perspective, though. We love you guys together.
Thank you.
What about Tinsley? What do you think about her?
Tinsley, I just look at as an innocent. I've known Tinsley for a while. I've never had any real in-depth conversations with her, but she's just harmless, right? I mean, how can you not like Tinsley? There's nothing to dislike about her.
Yeah.
And I have to say, that was really, as a viewer, that was one of the most upsetting parts of this season, is when she announced that she was leaving to Chicago and no one was happy, but you were. And I think that was such a nice moment for you.
Well, Leah was happy for her too.
Yeah, as Leah and you, we're both happy.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
was it hard to watch being at that table? Hard to watch? Could you hear, the conversations that were been going on at the other end of the table?
Yeah, I actually was very shaken up after that dinner, like visibly shaken up. And then Ramona and I had a falling out later on that night, and that was sort of the beginning of the end for us. But yeah, not watching these women celebrate Tinsley after everyone was really quick to point out when life was difficult for her, and then to not be there to celebrate her when her dreams were coming true, that was really disappointing for me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think we felt the same way.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to switch to the Hamptons, if that's okay with you, and this $39 million house party.
Oh my God. Yes.
Did you think that was kind of a weird party, or no? We thought that it was so much house and not enough people. I feel like there's something about being like in a party with a lot of people. What would you rate that party?
Yeah, no, to me that party was all about getting his house shown.
Yeah,
oh, for sure,
it was
for
bizarre.
Sure. Party, yeah, and I've known Joe for a long time as well. So I knew all the people there.
Yeah.
Ramona carrying on about, her 50 friends, and you have to be elegant, Leah, swallow your gum. I'm just like, oh, please,
But you had a classic line there. You were his accessory with Sonia. So could you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, she was on another level, I would say. That's fair to say. And you were just so cool, calm, and collected. How was that interaction with her?
Well, I definitely triggered her.
Yeah.
So I never meant it as an insult. People took it that way. But if you listen to what Sonia was saying, that her husband made her go shopping and he made her buy things, and she was embarrassed about it and she didn't want to do it. So I was reacting to that. So I said, well, if someone's making her dress in a certain way, he's accessorizing her because she accessorizes him. So that's all I was pointing out. So when I said,
did you make up pretty quick after that?
Oh yeah, she followed me around the rest of the night wanting to continue the fight. And I just said, Sonia, it was meant to empower you, not to put you down. And so she realized that.
Yeah, that was a good line though. A memorable line.
Hilarious.
So other Hamptons drama, we want your take on it. We have a little quick game, socialite chic or not. So we have 3 of them from that episode. So topless in the pool throwing tiki torches. Was that Elyse socialite chic or no?
Throwing tiki torches?
Yes.
No, not chic.
Not chic.
Fun, but not chic.
So what about when Ramona left to go to another party? Is that socialite chic or not Elyse approved?
I mean, that's like such a low class move, right? I mean, what can I say to that? Like trading up for the bigger, better deal? Come on.
Were you shocked when she said she was leaving? Were you like, are you really leaving?
Oh, no, that's Ramona. That's what Ramona does. I've seen her run out, because I am friends with the 50 girlfriends. And I've seen her run out of their birthday parties because she, hears about a cute guy at some random spot.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, to be honest, my favorite, besides the throwing the tiki torches, my favorite was that tennis match. I rewinded that probably 5 times with that big ass visor. I mean, that was just funny. So was that the socialite chic? Do you think she was the proper, Wimbledon ladies tennis? She was pretty funny when she was playing tennis.
No, and she's not even a good tennis player. So it's not fake.
Agreed.
There you go.
That's funny.
LuAnn had some pretty funny moments there too, trying to pick up the tennis instructor.
He was a
funny tennis player, right. Well, I know LuAnn says that she and I have not been in the same circles and that she really doesn't know me. Maybe she doesn't remember me at parties, a little too much, right? Because I must have been at 20 parties with LuAnn. And so watching her hit on the tennis pro was nothing new to me.
That's funny. Yeah. What is your relationship with LuAnn? That's not really covered. Non-existent? No. Was she kind of cold to you during the season, would you say? Or just kind of the LuAnn vision, tunnel vision?
She was cold. That's LuAnn, right? It's all about LuAnn, and so, yeah, I mean, if she doesn't have time to ask me how I'm doing, then I'm really not interested in how she's doing.
There you go. Fair. Okay, moving on from Hamptons, we'd love to get your take on the Giverinda versus Tinsley saga, if you will. That was also kind of upsetting. We're both big fans of both of them. But I mean, obviously Giverinda was going through something because it just seemed like she had this target on Tinsley's back.
It just seemed like so unnecessary. But
yeah, so what is your take on that?
I'm just gonna scoot you guys a second because you keep freezing on me. I'm sorry, bear with me 1 second.
No worries.
My take on that is that yes, Giverinda went too far. However, as I had mentioned in the past, there were times that Tinsley was poking the tiger a little bit. I never thought that, look, Giverinda's tough, right? I mean, she's tough and you never want to be on the receiving end of it. And Tinsley is truly like a little kitten. That being said, there were times that I used to say to Tinsley, stop, like you're antagonizing her, or she's offering you an olive branch, just take it, don't keep this fight going.
Yeah.
But I guess that there was so much bad history between the two of them, which I was not aware of, that maybe by the time I came into the mix, Tinsley was just so fed up, and therefore she would not take the olive branch. Yeah. So what I witnessed was that Tinsley could have also put an end to it and chose not to.
That's a good point. Yeah. I wish there was some kind of resolution though. I know you don't always get that, but I know she left, but I wish there was some kind of final meeting between them. Just enough. It was a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Do you think
Yeah, no, I
annoying?
agree.
I'm just gonna go for it. Do you think Tinsley's voice is annoying? The word of the I feel like associated with Tinsley was screech, screech, screech. Everyone kept saying that.
When she would scream, and even when we were at the wine tasting and
Yeah.
she ran crying and I ran off after her and was trying to comfort her, she was still screaming at me. And I kept saying, why are you screaming? I'm standing a foot away from you and I'm here for you. So why are you screaming at me? So yes, that part of Tinsley is definitely like nails on a chalkboard. But otherwise, I didn't find anything about her annoying. I found her endearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that insight.
Of course.
Move on to Leah, your new friend.
We love that you guys are hanging out. That's so fun.
Yes, we're having a good time, and she's here through Monday.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
now my daughter's walking around doing Leah impersonations now. So every time I ask my daughter something, she's like, "Hello, bitch!"
Like a shot fired. Yeah, that's my favorite. That's the shots fired.
Amazing.
So can you kind of take us through the timeline? I know you did a little bit of you and Leah's friendship. So I know you did have that little hiccup in Rhode Island. And what we live on the Housewives when someone checks someone in a public place, like no one else, like, because didn't you have that little confrontation? You know, you asked her the next morning, weren't you in a store, correct?
Right.
But that's my favorite, is when this all happens when there's just random people. Do you have any, like, do you know people are watching, or is it just kind of like?
I think to become oblivious to people watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but you know, even though I sort of will call someone out on something, I don't do it in a way where I scream, or I'm not abrasive. So I'm not drawing attention to it in front of, you know, around other people.
Yeah.
So when Ramona kind of took back her request to let her sister come, did you think it was a big deal that her sister was coming? Did you care?
Well, Ramona really, I think Ramona thought that this was a good time for Leah to bond with the rest of the girls, and Ramona wanted me to have her back on that. So initially I also said, okay, you know, maybe like now's not the time. But when I saw how upset Leah was, and she was truly visibly shaken, then I thought, look, she needs her sister. Let her sister just come. And once her sister was there, for the other women to not be friendly to, you know, toward her, that was a little shocking to me.
We didn't get the last sentence, if you could.
Oh, okay. Once Sarah showed up, for the other women to be so cold to her was definitely shocking to me, because once Sarah was there, then I thought, okay, well, she's here, let's welcome her.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was another thing that, you know, was a little hard to watch them be, you know, kind of rude to someone on the outside that came in.
Right.
All right, so let's get to the main event. As you know, Ramona Singer, the Singer Stinger, the Ramona Coaster.
You really rode the Ramona coaster this season, I feel like.
Yeah, I did. And it was nauseating.
Yeah.
Sure.
So when did you feel like your relationship started to change with her? Was it that after the haunted house, or was it even prior to that?
Even prior to that, she really started ignoring me and putting me in a corner. So I didn't quite understand why I was even there at some point.
Yeah.
And the other girls were inviting me out as well, which is why I kept showing up. So Dorinda invited me to her party, and Sonia invited me to her fashion show. I don't know what got into Ramona. I really don't. But the night of after the haunted house, Ramona was horrible to me. You saw Sonia and I were discussing when the girls were going out, and I was visibly shaken up from the dinner after the haunted house, Tinsley's last time with us. That night really left me shaken. And LuAnn and I had an argument that night as well. So when my husband was traveling, so I was just going home to an empty apartment, and the girls were going out. And Sonia was saying, come with us, come with us. And Sonia grabbed my hand, and Ramona literally pulled our hands apart and said, no, Elyse can't come. Like, what are you, a mean girl?
That's
terrible.
like high school
You
mean
know,
girl
kidding
stuff.
me?
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And that's when I started saying, I mean, this is a woman that would show up on me when I'm with my husband, enjoying a quiet night at home, and she would be lonely, and we're like, come, you know, have dinner with us, watch a movie with us.
And massage his shoulders, nonetheless.
Yeah, you know, yeah, right? All of a sudden, I'm not allowed to go out to a club with you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I never knew what that was about.
So what do you think, if it was one, what do you think it was? If you could do, like, put one word, do you think it's jealousy, control? Like, what do you think? Because
I
it was
have
really an
no idea.
event that you didn't do anything to her.
I have no idea, you know, and then, you know, she would send me a text message sort of saying, trying to explain it away. And I just wrote, you know, BS.
Yeah.
You know, and whenever she would behave badly around the group, she would then go off and send me a text message thinking that she could make it okay. And the more this was continuing, the more I said, Ramona, this is just not okay.
Yeah.
And then what was my big crime during LuAnn's Halloween party, when I asked, you know, what kind of friend am I to you? That was my big crime. Like, all of a sudden that made me persona non grata.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, and then she said when we were the first night in the Berkshires, she's like, when she couldn't use the word narcissistic, you know, and she was accusing me of being a narcissist, saying, I just had a big fight with Giverinda and then you jumped on the bandwagon. But that was another lie, because if you watched it, I approached her first. Her fight with Giverinda happened after she walked away from me.
Yeah. Yeah. Going to that Halloween party, I mean, you could just see, I rewatched it this morning. I think you were just so hurt. This was one of your best friends. I mean, you went all the way downtown and she wouldn't let you sit with her. I mean, she was just not giving you anything. Wasn't it just, you just lost? Did you realize kind of at that Halloween party where you were asking her, you know, what kind of friend am I? And she was like, whatever you want to be, you know, like you couldn't, like, what was going through your mind? Were you just like shocked?
So I went all the way down there because I heard that she was crying. Someone said, oh, Ramona left and she's in tears. And that was in the middle.
Tell listeners how far. That's a long, I mean, it's not around the block, right? Like,
no. And in traffic on Halloween, it took me almost an hour to get down there.
Yeah.
I had been texting her, are you okay? Are you okay? And she wasn't responding. So I went down there with Leah, actually. And Leah and I walked over, and she was nasty to Leah. And then I said to her, what are you doing? Like, why are you being aggressive with Leah? You didn't have any problems with her tonight. And that's when she said, you shouldn't be here either. You're not my friend and you can't sit here. You know, and I said, you're right. We're not friends anymore. And I went to go home. It was pouring rain out also. And at one point when I was like halfway across the room in the club, I just turned and I looked back at her standing by herself at 63 years old in the middle of this club late at night. And I thought, you know what? Like, I feel more sorry for you than I do for myself right now, because I'm going home, you know, to my family. One of your best friends is walking out this door right now, and this friendship is probably over. So you have my sympathy. I mean,
was that really the moment where you're like, this is kind of done? Do you think when you went all the way down there?
Yeah. And then when we were in the Berkshires, you guys didn't see, it looked like I forgave her so easily because she sat on Dorinda's lap, but you guys didn't see that she'd apologized to me in the kitchen. So she'd apologized in the kitchen. We came back and joined the rest of the girls. I was still sort of trying to digest if I thought it was a real apology or not. And then I thought, you know what, I'm here for a fun girls weekend.
Yeah.
If the apology was real, I'm going to accept it. And that's why I sat on her lap and forgave her when she said, oh, and then when I sit on her lap, she's like, oh, you're a little heavy. Right, you remember that?
Of course.
Right, I'm like, first of all, I'll challenge you to a weight contest, right? Let's both get on the scale and see. I'm like, second, I could bench press you, bitch. Like, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Do you think, I know we'll see it as it plays out, the episodes, but do you think you'll ever get back to a place where you'll be friends with her, or is this pretty much, no?
I'm done.
Well, good for you for standing your ground. She was in the wrong. Not
Thank you.
I have one more question about the Halloween party. What did you think of Dorinda's toast? What was your take on that?
Well, I didn't know what was happening, right? So I didn't see the fight between Dorinda and Ramona in the other room.
Yeah.
So when Dorinda was making her toast, I had obviously something had gone down, but I had no idea what it was. So I didn't have a strong opinion other than, uh-oh.
But watching it back, do you have a further opinion of seeing that conversation and then seeing the toast?
Well, look, obviously in the moment, I felt badly for Ramona and I went over to her.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Even after she dissed me, I found the toast very cutting. So I went over to her to see if she was okay. And when I watched it back, I don't know, I'll try to be objective and step aside from my own feelings about Ramona. I guess it was still harsh, but I don't blame Dorinda. You know, again, like I said, Tinsley may have had a buildup over the years. I think Dorinda's had a buildup over the years of Ramona. Sorry?
I said Ramona had it coming a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, I think that Dorinda was finally like, you know what, I'm not tolerating this anymore either. Right? So if I suddenly blew up on Ramona, even if in the moment she didn't do something that you thought necessarily warranted it, given the history, anyone would be like, yeah, finally, Elyse, thank you, you know?
Yeah.
So that was Dorinda's moment.
Okay, so last question. Do you think she gave Dorinda more of a pass when you guys were in the Berkshires?
Of course.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I mean, seriously, what crime did I commit? Asking her, am I your friend? What kind of a friend am I to you? Saying you should respect me as a friend. That was, I never attacked her character, right? I never betrayed any confidences. I didn't like verbally abuse her. Like, what was my big crime that I was the one that she, you know, didn't want to be friends with anymore?
Totally. So you do think she gave Dorinda a pass?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, maybe because she felt like she needed to.
Yeah.
From what Dorinda was going through.
No, I didn't even think, she's not that empathetic. It wasn't for what Dorinda was going through. It's that she's no match for Dorinda. I mean, she knows that I'm just mellow by nature. So I wasn't going to drag her through the mud, but Dorinda
would blow her head up, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we wanted to end on just a couple more like fire round questions, just random little things. So what was your favorite experience filming this season?
Leah.
That's
amazing.
Love that.
Yay. And the proof's in the pudding. She's there right now. I love that. Do you mind if I ask, are you guys doing anything fun while she's there? Like cooking or poolside or anything fun with her?
Yeah, she just got here late last night. I was in the city and I drove her back with me. Although she's been doing little cameos inside my cameos. So fans are loving that. They get like a nice little surprise.
That's awesome.
A lot of fans, when I do cameos, ask me to do my impersonations of the girls. So when I go to do my Lee impersonation, I call her in now.
I love that.
But we're gonna go to the beach. We're gonna be healthy. My husband is going to be training the two of us. We'll cook. We're just gonna chill and have a good time. And we're gonna watch RHONY together.
Yes, we can't wait.
The episode where we kiss.
Ooh, we saw that. We're excited.
Can't wait.
My daughter's gonna be watching it like this.
Yeah.
Horrified.
You'll have to put the hand over. Okay, just a couple more. Have you ever seen LuAnn's cabaret show?
No.
Would you ever?
No. I've heard too much about cabaret.
I know, it's too much, right?
Yeah.
Here's another one. This can just be a yes or no. Do you think LuAnn should pay Sonia to be in her cabaret show?
Yes, of course. Yes.
I agree. $250. Come on, LuAnn.
Yeah.
Okay, who has the best confessional look this season?
Leah.
I agree.
I love these late confessionals. Sonia looks really beautiful too, but Leah, I've loved her look.
Me too.
I hated my confessional look. I thought I looked very goth.
No, don't be too hard on yourself.
Oh, you did. You can admit it. I did.
No.
Okay, which Real Housewife from another season, a franchise, current or past, would you ever go out to dinner with?
Oh, well, I don't know the cast of any of the other shows, but obviously I know Jill. I've known Heather forever. I met Heather on her 3rd date with her husband, Jonathan.
Oh, wow. And we see her next episode too, I think, from the trailer.
Yep, we see Heather, yep.
Yeah, we liked Heather.
So I would definitely go out with Heather. I'd go out with Bethany. I'd go out with Jill.
Cool. Okay, who do you prefer, Mrs. Morgan or Turn Up Sonia?
Oh, I love them both. I have to say, there's a place for each. Yeah.
She was pretty awesome. She was pretty awesome at that Halloween party.
Yeah. She actually reminded me of like a little kid at that party. My husband and I always imitate her from that night at the party when Dorinda's saying, you're terrible to Sonia. And she's like, terrible to me. And it's like,
yes.
Why are you doing that, Ramona? Yeah, why are you doing that, Ramona?
And she was holding like a chicken wing or something, or like a ladle.
Yeah.
Okay, just some New York City questions, if you don't mind. So, what's your favorite neighborhood to hang out in New York City? Any
well, I live on Upper East, but I do love going downtown. I do. Ooh. I love Soho, and my daughter lives in Chelsea. I love Chelsea.
Cool. Do you have a favorite restaurant?
All parts of it.
That's amazing. Do you have a favorite restaurant in New York City?
I like Sushi by Booth, which my daughter turned me on to.
Where is that?
I just follow her. She leads.
No, there you go. There you go.
City. There's a couple of them, yeah.
And what's your favorite New York City store?
It's funny. Believe it or not, I'm not a huge shopper. So, I love art. So I'd say I love shopping at Sotheby's or Christie's.
Yes.
Depending on where that paddle is in the auction.
Yes.
Yeah, but otherwise I'd say if I really need an outfit, I usually go to Bergdorf.
Fun. So fun. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Yes, we cannot wait to watch tonight.
Oh, you're very welcome. Sorry, my background's a little funky. I really couldn't find my computer. I went into a complete panic. So I'm like, Leah, I need your computer. So I'm grabbing the computer out of her hand. So I didn't get a chance to step out.
And we're so excited to watch the rest of the season. And we're hoping you get that app.
We need you to get the app.
We need you. We're praying.
Oh, thank you. It may be tough, with where I stand with Ramona, but
we just think you're such a great addition. So we're really enjoying you on the show. So thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. My pleasure.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Jordan left. Okay.